Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is Thursday night. It's 6 p.m. It's the NFL Weekly Pick'em Show, and it is the holiday season, as you can see. Merry Christmas for myself and Dan, to everyone out there.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Definitely. Christmas season is upon us, Dan, and one team's in the playoffs basically, and one team's not. I'm not going to say which team is there and what team's not, Dan, but
Yep.
I wish you a good Christmas because your team's not doing so good.
My team is done. So
Your team is done. What, Dan?
it was
Don't say
expected.
done. Don't say done. Don't say done, Dan. Are you eliminated?
Not technically no, but they're done.
Dan, listen, I'm going to be a fan of the Giants in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, I'm definitely
played the Eagles twice.
Exactly, I'm going to
be. We'll see how they fare, but I don't know. Their run blocking is kind of really bad, and I don't know. This could be a game where the Eagles tee off on us, but we'll see.
Hey, listen, if you can just win 1 out of 2 for me, I'll be pretty happy, Dan. That'd be my Christmas gift. You know, you want to give me something for Christmas? Have Tommy DeVito win 1 game, please. 1 game out of 2. That's all I ask for, Dan. Just 1 out of 2, okay? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
But hey, Dan, last week, man, I was ahead of you pretty good, but Dan, the games that we disagreed on, it went in my favor, Dan. It went in my favor.
It's crazy.
Let's get into it. Let's look at these games here, Dan. This is last week's here. Okay.
63-7 or 14 or whatever.
Talk about wow. Dan, did you expect that? Did you expect
No.
That? Me either.
Why would I expect that to happen?
Dan, I think we were saying possibly maybe under 30 points because these teams both suck on offense, and it's just like defense, they don't really care anymore. Who cares? But it was 30 points in the first quarter, basically, Dan.
That's crazy. I don't know what to say about that, man. I have no idea what to say. I mean,
it was an ass kicking. It was just a total out ass kicking. I couldn't believe that game when I watched it. I was like, Thursday night games usually, Dan, they're like, oh, this is going to be a boring as hell game. But I was taking notes because, watching offense, I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Their Chargers are horrible, man.
Yeah, what about that one play where, what's his name? Stick, whatever the hell his name is, threw the ball, and it was a screen pass. It was a jet screen, and the guy just picked it off and ran for a touchdown. That was I've never seen that, Dan. It's like he's waiting for the ball. He read the play and just said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna miss my block here. I'm just go there and throw me the ball, and he threw it right to him, Dan.
I wonder if it's something they saw on film. It's something they've done before. That's a hell of a play, though.
That's a hell of a play. I couldn't believe it. It was just like amazing. I rewound it and watched it over and over. I thought the same thing you did. I'm like, all right, there's got to be a play call where they've seen this scripted, they've seen the formation, the scheme. So it's like, okay, we're going to drop, the linebacker inside coming off the edge there, and he's just going to wait for the ball. But Dan, I don't know, man. That was a total. Oh my God! If I'm the Chargers, Dan, I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, I thought they were a better team, but my goodness, man.
I did too, Dan. I did too. But
they got a lot of changes going on there. I don't know if it's actually Herbert's fault. I mean, give up 63 points.
Yeah,
for the season.
Exactly. I mean, I knew they were going to get rid of the head coach. I knew that, but then I thought he was going to be actually safe because losing Herbert. But then again, you lose him late in the season too.
Yeah,
I thought Kellen Moore might be gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I think their head coach just wasn't very good at all.
No,
it's obvious.
It's his 3rd year. He's not had a winning season. Basically, he's not the greatest coach. He's supposed to be innovative, but hey, young and innovative doesn't mean the best scheme. For a team.
No, it does not.
So
not always.
Did you hear the rumor now that they can't talk to him until the BCS, semifinals or championships over? But did you hear Harbaugh is the leading candidate for the Chargers job?
I saw something like that come across my Twitter, but I don't know. I guess if they win, but I don't think they're going to win the title.
No, I don't think I think they're going to lose Alabama actually, but
but we'll see. I mean, I think it would be a good hire for them. He's good with quarterbacks.
He is too, but
Herbert, but
he's more that old school mentality like Michigan football, run and pound the ball. Yeah. And I think that would be a good thing because if they do that, they can take a lot off Herbert's plate and not let him be the gunslinger that everybody wants him to be. Manage the game, good running back, good offensive line, and then pick it downfield a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got what you're saying. It's just
we'll see. Yeah,
but losing Herbert is, obviously you're not going to do very well. But I expect him to give up 60-something points
to the Raiders.
Yeah, like It's like when we played the Raiders. Like the Raiders weren't playing well. They got Pierce as head coach and they kicked our ass, scored over 30 points. Like
like
they were a good football team, but still.
They made Aiden O'Connell look like he was an MVP elite quarterback that day. That's
I
how
don't think
bad
Aiden
it
O'Connell
was.
is necessarily elite.
No, but they made him look like that. They made him look like that, Dan. The way he put up, these points against that team, and it was just like, good God. But yeah, let's go. Let's move on to the next game here. Minnesota. So far we're doing great here. Zane says I'm not even going to ask.
Nope.
No, he actually lost games. He actually lost 5 games this week against the spread on us. So we'll get into the standings here, but yeah, Dan's gonna. I mean, Dan, hopefully you don't live on 34th Street because you're gonna need a miracle to catch back up. You know what I mean?
Whatever. It's like the Giants season. It's over.
But let's talk about this next game. It's all good.
Right.
It's all good. It's all good. Anything can happen, Dan. Anything can happen, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Carolina won a game. Anything can happen, Dan. Okay?
I know, right? Like,
exactly, right? All right, let's get into the next game. The Bengals and the Vikings, Dan. We both took the Bengals here. It's to me, the Bengals are good and bad. I don't know what team's going to show up. Who's playing. Now, Jamar Chase is out this week, too. So when we get to the game,
that's not very, very good for that. But who are they playing? I forget who they're playing this week.
I don't even know. I wrote it. It's on our next screen here, Dan. We'll get into that in a second. But
all right, no worries.
I mean, we both picked them, so there wasn't really much to talk about that in that game. There, it's a win for both of us.
Though, only won by 3.
Yeah, it was a close game. I mean, if you like good football, that was a good football game for you, of course. But we'll move into the next game here, Dan. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers. You took Pittsburgh. I took the Colts. This was a toss-up game, Dan. Maybe who could score 3 points might win the game, honestly. But Dan, I want to ask you one thing. Up here, I live in Pittsburgh, and I tell you what, I even put in our group chat, did you see George Pickens not block on that play?
Yes.
Did you see his comment, Dan?
I did not see his comment.
I didn't want to block because I didn't want to get hurt.
Oh, yeah, I did see that comment. I'm like, are you serious, dude?
Dan, this guy makes millions and millions of dollars. He plays what he loves to do. You're a blocking wide receiver. You're a catching wide receiver. Dan, if that's me and I'm another wide receiver, or I'm a running back, or I'm an offense, wherever, I don't care if I'm the punter or the long slapper. Dan, you lost all confidence that I had in you by saying that bullshit that you just said. You know
exactly.
What I mean? I can't believe that, Dan. Like, if I ever heard a player say that, you know what? I'm just going to say, you know what? I don't care what left contract you have on this team. Your ass is done. Well, you can't be done, but you know what? Sit your ass on the bench because I want a player that gives 110% every play of the game. If you're down 70, I don't give a damn.
Oh, and last week I picked the Colts last week, not the Steelers, by the way.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Holy shit. Okay, let me write that one down. So you got 7 and I got 11. Okay, 7-11.
I just wanted to check.
Okay, no problem. Gotcha. We'll write that down. 7-11. 7-11.
He's cheating.
I write them down as you tell me. 7-11 because I did this so fast last night because I took a different position in my life this week, so I'm kind of happy about it. So I was kind of ecstatic, but all right. So let's go to the next game here, Dan. Denver, Detroit.
Yeah.
What's going wrong with Denver?
No. Detroit's a better team as well, but
yeah.
And Peyton was pissed at
Oh, I seen that Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, he was like yelling at him.
But they said something after the game, Dan, where he wasn't really pissed off about him. He was pissed off about the play before that, about the referee, something with the referee situation. But I think he was just like saying the right things to not build a issue with Russell Wilson on the sidelines, because I didn't think he was going to be caught saying all that, screaming at him. So I think it was the right thing to say, like, okay, I'm deflecting. Dan and I are cool, even though we had an argument on a sideline here. But it was the play before. I think he said the right thing, honestly. But yeah, I watched the play before. Russell Wilson, he made a bonehead mistake, basically, is what he did versus the play that he called. So it is what it is. But yeah, Detroit's a better team, though, Dan. They're fighting for the playoffs this week, coming up there.
Yeah.
So they got to wrap up because they can still actually get either the third or the second or third or fourth seed. Don't want to drop down. So they're still fighting.
I should have definitely picked the Lions because they're the better team and at home.
I like them on turf. I mean, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is a lot faster. I love their running back situation. They're faster on at home. So I take them at home, honestly. Cleveland, Chicago.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a close game as well.
Yeah.
2017, the Browns just got by. The Bears, you never know what you're gonna get. I think the Browns have a good defense, and
I agree.
But it was a close game.
I agree. Are we? I'm going to talk about the Bears here real quick. Of course, they hold the number one pick right now from the Carolina Panthers, their pick, and I believe right now they're 4 or 5, I believe they're 5. I believe their own pick. But Dan, I mean, they're trying to win games, man. I give them credit because tanking is not a word in their system. They are still trying to win games.
Why would you tank? I mean, that's not in the player's mentality or coach's mentality.
Exactly.
You still want to play well. You still want to finish strong. You also have players that are playing to be there next year as well.
Okay. And so I think Steelers and Bengals. Yeah, I don't even know who they're playing. We did our picks on the next screen here, but yeah, Chicago could have won that game. I mean, they're playing good ball, Dan. But I mean, Dan, you got the first pick. Do you get rid of Justin Fields, Dan? What do you do?
What are you going to do with them?
I'm asking you. I don't know what I would do with them. Honestly, if like a head coach, I don't know what I would do. He shows glimpses and glamours. You went out and got Robbie, Robbie out there. He's playing okay, but then again, next week he plays bad. Next week he plays good. Next week he can't find if he's getting out of bed or whatever. We don't know. But Caleb Williams, I'm not sold on Caleb Williams either because Caleb Williams.
I don't know if you take a quarterback in the first round. I think I would get some more tools around Fields. To be honest,
I like where you're thinking.
How's their offensive line? I don't know how the Bears' offensive line is. Is it bad?
It's not the greatest. I mean, it's mediocre. He has time, but you're running quarterback, Dan. You don't have that time clock in your head like normal quarterbacks. Coming from Ohio State where he played, it was more of a run and gun offense. You get out 1 second, then you roll out right or left. You don't stay in the pocket, and that's always going to be as a running quarterback. We all know that. Just like Hurts. He's better on the open move. We see that. Danny's better on the open move. He likes to move. Dak Prescott, same way. He's doing different this year. But if I'm the Bears, Dan, this may sound crazy. I'm not going quarterback. No, you know where I'm going? I'm going either
defense.
No, I'm going offensive line. I'm either going a guy from Penn State, or Joe Alt. One of those two guys.
Joe Alt, number one. You got a solidified left tackle.
And then I'm going Marvin Harrison at 5. Then I'm going Marvin Harrison at 5. You got both weapons, more.
Yeah.
And then you got Harrison on the outside. You got the offensive
you get
line.
Marvin Harrison Jr. and more in there.
Yeah.
That's
where
a
I'm
good
going.
combo right there.
That's where I'm going. I'm taking that offensive line.
Need.
I think so too.
And defense too.
Yeah. I was telling my buddy today, Dan, I know we're getting off topic here, but he actually is a Bears fan. And he was like, "Oh, I'm taking Caleb Williams." And I was like, "Hey, then you got to start all over.
No,
you got to start all over, number one." But I said this: I was like, "You know what? Don't be surprised if the Bears trade out of number one to either a 2, 3. Because the Packers might want a quarterback.
That would make sense too.
Packers want a quarterback. Okay, Washington might take a quarterback.
Is desperate for a quarterback will trade for that pick.
Exactly.
It's going to be one team, and if there's, who they're going to take.
Exactly.
And you have the other person in mind. They have options. You have May. You have Jaden Daniels. You have Penix. I mean, there are a couple of guys that they pick if they really wanted. But I wouldn't take a quarterback.
No, because this is what I was telling him. I was like, okay, the Patriots are definitely looking at a quarterback. They're looking at Drake May as their quarterback. Belichick
the Patriots will get their quarterback. And Zane should be happy because St. Massolian in chat. They're gonna get the Patriots are gonna get their quarterback.
And if you think about the Bears, you think about the Bears. Their pick. I mean, the offensive lineman, Dan. They're going to go 8 and 9 right now in the draft. They're not going to go 1, 2, 1 through 5. It's going to be quarterback and Marvin Harrison Jr. We know that. Yeah. So if I'm the Bears, I'm sitting there like looking at 6th position here and saying, okay, look. You know what? I'm cool with either the Penn State left tackle or Joe Alt from Notre Dame. I'm cool with one of those. I'm going to stay at 4 or 5 with my, my actual pick.
Oh, you keep that pick.
Yeah, I'm going to take Marvin Harrison right there. I know I'm getting him. No team's going to go 1, 2, 3 and take him.
Think about it.
But then you get that first pick and you trade back. Right, you trade back.
You get a haul.
Hell yeah.
You get a haul and still have another first-round pick.
So I'm saying.
Like say it's like in the teens.
You could end up basically with 3 first-round picks there if you really think about it.
That's what I'm thinking. If I'm the GM,
that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
That way you could fill another hole with that third first-round pick.
Exactly. I'm thinking like you trade that number 1, you fall back to maybe like an 8, 9, 10 position. Whoever wants the second to third quarterback that wants that guy, you drop back 4 or 5 where your normal spot's at. You take Marvin Harrison Jr. You let the players play out. You either take the guy from Penn State or Joe Alt from Notre Dame. That's your offensive, blindside tackle right there. You got him.
Yeah.
Then you're going to get a pick, a secondary pick from the first pick to whoever you trade to. Maybe it's a late first round. Dan, they're
early second round.
Early, even early second round. I think they'll get a first round pick for it, honestly.
The first 60 picks or so, there's good players.
Definitely. Then you go out and get that defensive edge rusher. You go out and get that, corner safety, whatever you're looking at, because you can pick up some great players in the second round. And I think the Bears own the draft right now, coming into that number one spot.
They have to realize that the moves they made last year with Paul, who's their new GM?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's not Poles, is it?
I don't even know his name, Dan. He's not even
ringing right now. KC, like an assistant.
I know. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I forget who it is, but they've done a good job setting themselves up for this draft.
Sure.
And if you trade that first pick, you can get assets for next year's draft too.
That's what I mean. Even if it's next year, Dan, you're not going to be the franchise Super Bowl team next year. So build for the future, just like the Eagles did. The Eagles had the pieces. They went out and got more pieces for next year.
You know what they did first?
Two seconds,
their offensive line in 3 drafts.
That's what you have to do. I mean, that's how Dallas flipped it. They went out and got offensive lineman. Then you build around it. Then you get your pieces. Then you find pieces of the puzzle that fit this scheme. So. I don't know. We'll talk about that later. After the season, we'll talk about the draft picks. But Dan, both of us picked Green Bay. Green Bay is different at home, Dan, or is Tampa Bay just that bad?
Well, I don't know. Tampa Bay won.
Did they really?
Yes.
Holy shit!
That's why you don't have an X through it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's
Tampa Bay won 34-20.
I actually thought it was closer than that. I thought it was like 1.
It was closer at one point, but they won by 14.
Right. We got a comment about the Packers. Packers don't need a quarterback. We need a new head coach and a new DC. Love has a solid year overall. He's like 5th in TD passes.
Love's all right.
I think he is too. I mean,
given the 1 year season at all for his first full season, that's not bad.
Dan, you listen. You take away your number 1 wide receiver and your second wide receiver too. You take away all these players, and basically you're learning a new scheme, a new situation, a new language, a new verbiage, with different wide receivers. So I give him credit there. I mean, but who do you take as a head coach? I don't think they're going to pack.
Well, I don't think they're going to fire Mike LaFleur. Where's their pick?
I don't even know. I didn't even look at their picks, honestly, Dan. I didn't even look at the picks.
It depends on where they're picking. But these are his stats this year. 3,368 yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 picks with a 62% completion percentage and a 90.8 rating. That is solid.
Not bad. That's not bad at all.
Good.
That's not bad
at all. That's pretty good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually pretty solid with no weapons, pretty much. They have tight ends, but they don't have a legitimate number 1 receiver. And that with those stats, you give him a number 1 receiver, 4,500 yards, 30-something touchdowns, easy.
Okay. Yeah, Buccaneer. I remember him coming out of the draft. I wanted him coming out. He's been injury prone too. He's a big concern. He wants to go up tackle. As a Packers fan, where do you go? Do you go to Penn State or do you go Joe Alt in that situation? You can't go wrong with either one. Either one is perfect for your situation.
But the question is, are they going to be there for the Packers?
Yeah, exactly. Let me know where they actually pick at. I don't even look at the draft. I didn't even know where they pick. I don't look at the draft until later on in the season because I don't get enamored
after the season's over.
Yeah, I don't get enamored with it until after. I just know the Packers. The Panthers and the Bears where they sit. And Patriots and the Commanders sitting at 4 right now. So I know where they sit. But yeah, after that game, Dan, Houston.
Green Bay is pick 11.
All right, so you know what they're in a prime position for either the Penn State Oluwase, or something like that, or Joe Alt. They can get their guy right there. If they go that route,
they're 11 right now.
All right, because I think Joe Alt and Yusa is going to be projected either 7 to 10 range, so they can fit right in there too. I mean, I don't think they actually move up though. I can't see them moving up to get that guy. I'm not sure 11. Where they get picked. They got 3 games left. They could lose. Now. Okay, our play calling is just bad. I agree. I mean, I think it's.
They'll end up around 11 or 12, 13.
Okay, probably. Yeah, they're probably. I mean, they're looking at their schedule. Who they have next week, and then down the line, 2 games down the line too. But I wouldn't give up on LaFleur right now. I think they need more weapons. Honestly, I really do. That's just me thinking, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But let's move on to the next game, Dan. Texans and Tennessee without C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
And he might be out this week, too. I just looked at it. He's still in his little protocol, so he might be out as well this week. It's still going to be a game time decision.
Yeah, maybe he plays, but I don't know. But it just goes to show how bad the Titans are. Who played quarterback for
the what the hell? What the hell is this? Case Keenum.
Oh, Case Keenum. Case Keenum's not a bad backup.
No, he's been in the league all the time. He's been in the league for a while. Yeah, he's serviceable. He's like that service dog that can get you across the street. If you have to.
Titans are just bad this year, man.
That's what I was going to ask you. Are they this bad, Dan? I mean,
they're just not having a good season. They have Levis. He's not an experienced quarterback. They're just not playing well.
But overall. Dan, what is it? Last week we took opposite of Tennessee, and I forgot who they played last week, but they won last week in a big game, an underdog game. They won that game. Then this week, it's like you play against the Texans, who don't even have the starting QB, and you lose to them in a losing fashion. I mean, are they just that bad? I mean, is Vrabel on the hot seat?
I think they're just not a good football team this year.
I agree.
Levis is not that good, really. He doesn't have that much experience. He has talent. Henry's not having one of those years. He usually has.
Yeah.
It's just not. They're probably getting older as well, I'd imagine.
They're young.
They had 3 or 4 years ago.
And the other thing is, like, when you got rid of AJ Brown, that was like the demise of your team. That was, I mean, Hopkins is playing, but Dan, he's not AJ
Brown.
No,
he's nothing like AJ Brown. Maybe if Hopkins was like, it was like earlier in his career.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a different story. Yeah.
But AJ Brown is a monster, man.
And that was the thing.
Difference maker.
And then
why take rid of him?
I don't know what it was. It was just like a steal for the Eagles. I remember on draft night it happened. We were doing the live draft and it happened. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But then then Henry's on the trading block, Dan, and I was on the wagon.
Surprised.
Like I was on the wagon saying, you know what, hell, Kim, what, we're going to have a late 26, 27 draft pick for the Cowboys. Go on and get Derrick Henry. Honestly,
I'm not surprised.
Now I'm thinking about it, Dan. I'm thinking, like, thank God we didn't do that, because they don't even use him. And when they use him, he's not Derrick Henry anymore. You know what I mean?
No. He's older now. He's had some injuries. He's almost 30, right?
Yeah.
He's had a lot of carries.
Yep. Now, do you think,
Mike?
What's up, Mike? How you doing, brother? Now, let me ask you this. Is Vrabel on the hot seat with the Tennessee Titans?
What's his record with them?
I think he's like, what, 5? No, well, the problem is that division is bad, Dan. I mean, Jacksonville's running that division, but you're not even.
Sucks.
If the Texans are ahead of you with the rookie coach DeMarco Ryans ahead of you with a rookie quarterback,
he's been out-coached in the playoffs.
The only game that I have ever seen him actually do something is when he went, teacher versus student with that New England Patriot game a couple years back. Remember the timeout situation?
Yeah.
The timeout situation. He took a playbook out of Belichick's system. That was the only game I've ever seen him really coach. But I think he is on the hot seat. But then again, you know what?
Maybe.
What other coaches are out there? Do you go young college QB? Because not college QB, college coach. Because these college coaches come in here and they coach, college players who's now is different, being an NIL league transfer portal.
Pete Carroll was able to do it.
Yeah, Pete Carroll. Yeah, he definitely was.
It's rare. It's typically
it's rare.
Harbaugh didn't do bad, but he had
Jimmy Johnson, did it as well.
Yep.
But I mean, it's a different category when you come from college to NFL. And do you really want to start over?
Totally different. Like look at what's his name? The guy that Carolina hired and fired. What's his name?
Oh,
coach.
Matt Rule.
Matt Rule.
I tell you what, I like Matt Rule. I mean, I
like him.
I do too. I mean, I met him once at Temple University because my son was actually recruited to Temple, so we went down there and met him one time. Then he left Temple. They took him to an 8th ranking in the BC, not BCS that year. Played Notre Dame down to 3 points. Went to that game. Then they went to Baylor. Shit the bed at Baylor his first year. Then he turned around and went 10-2. Then he left. Then he goes away. Yeah. Then he goes here. Now he's building Nebraska up, but it's different. I think Vrabel is fired this year. I honestly do think that, Dan. But we'll move on from that team. Now, Miami. Wow, without Waddle, without Tyreek Hill, are the Jets just that
The Jets have no offense.
They don't.
The Jets have absolutely no offense, and their offense was so bad this game that was it like 24-0 quick?
It was. It was fast. Yeah.
Like they didn't really need to score any more points. It's just the problem is the Jets' offense is just horrific. It's horrible.
Yeah, Mike sums it up crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't expect that. That's what I said about the Jets. Their offense is just horrible. Mm-hmm. If they had an offense that was average, they would have a lot more wins.
I agree.
Miami's offense is good, and they have they have players out, but still they still have Mostert and A-Chain.
Now, Dan, I know
we still have a good offensive scheme, still effective.
Definitely, yeah, definitely do. I mean, let me ask you a question. I want to play it shoulda, coulda, woulda here. Now, if the Jets, week 1, 4 plays into the season, they lose almighty Aaron Rodgers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, Dan, where do you see them, honestly, right now, with him playing a full season right now?
Maybe 500.
So far. Really? You think that low? You really think that low?
Line sucks.
That's true. I never really looked at it that way, but that's true. Mm-hmm.
They would be better for sure. They would have more wins, but I don't know if they'd be like 15-1 or something, or I don't know if they have a record like that.
Yeah.
Because right off the bat, Rodgers was pressured right away.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I think he would have got hurt eventually because the offensive line's pretty bad. And I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers is great in the pocket, but he's not exactly what he used to be.
Yeah, I mean, beginning he could roll on, throw the ball, on the move. He was great at that. But the problem is if you do that drop back 30, say 30 drops back 35 times a game and you're running for your life on 25 of them, that takes a toll on you too. I never really looked at that.
I just think that their offensive line lets them down a whole lot.
I agree.
Obviously, Rodgers is way better than anything they have.
Sure.
Miles.
Sure.
But can I say they'd be a great team? I think they'd be better.
I agree. I think there's still. I honestly, I tell you what, Dan, that would be an incredible division because you got the Dolphins leading, the Bills playing good right now, and then the Jets right there. That would be. I would say they'll probably still be in third place, honestly, because the fact that you said that he might be.
I think so because the Bills are better
right now, definitely.
And Miami is better.
Yeah,
they have the best defense though.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. But going into the playoffs, if you can get to the playoffs and you have a great defense, you would definitely have a shot right there because, Rodgers can get out of the pocket. He can play one game in the playoffs to get you there, but with a solid defense like the Jets have. But, shoulda, coulda, woulda, week 1. We're talking about week 1 back in the day where he got injured. 4th play in, I think it was.
I just don't like their offensive line.
No.
I think you would have gotten really hit and sacked a lot back there.
Yeah, just like Jets need offensive linemen too. Now, Dan, do you have the draft picks up already? Those
draft up.
Where do the Jets fall in on their draft right now? They got to be what top? Wow, 7. Coming on a bad year, and there's only 7th. I thought to be a lot lower than that.
Bears, Patriots, Arizona, Washington, New York, and
they might be in play for Yamosa from Penn State or Joe Alt. They might be in play for him too.
Arizona's got 2 first-round picks, by the way.
Where's their second pick at? It's got to be late, correct?
17.
It's not bad too. I mean, what do you do there? You got too much money to Kyler Murray. So what do? You got to go offensive lineman, or do you replace that?
They're third. They could take an offensive lineman.
You know what? Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. They take Marvin Harrison.
That's very possible.
That is. I just thought about that. That is a
possibility. Murray a really great weapon.
Yeah, and then you go best available.
Great in the NFL.
I agree.
Know it.
I think
bigger than his dad. Fat, like he's more physical than his father was.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great thing. If they go Marvin Harrison at 3 and they take best offensive lineman,
even for Washington, it's a great option.
I agree. I mean, a wide receiver like that who's been double teamed all his life at Ohio State. His numbers weren't the greatest this year at Ohio State, but nobody understands. He was doubled in triple covers the entire season.
I got a weird question for you. Do you think if he fell to 6, the Giants would take him? If 2 quarterbacks are gone, 2 offensive linemen are gone?
Wow. That's a great question.
Just curious.
You know what? Honestly, Dan, I mean,
they need offensive line.
You know how serious I am with college. And a lot of people say Malik Neighbors from LSU might be the best wide receiver in the game. There's a
lot of talent out there.
No, definitely. There is a lot of talent. But I say to those people, you might be on drugs because he's not double covered. He's not triple covered. Marvin Harrison is double and triple covered on every damn play.
Is ridiculously good.
And if I'm Giants, I'm Dan. I honestly would take a flyer on that. I really.
He's going to be in their top 5 best player available, top 3 probably easily.
The way I looked at it, Dan. Okay, Jaden Daniels. I talk about Heisman Trophy being number wise. We all know number stats win awards. We know that. Okay?
Yeah.
You look at Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors only lost by 1 vote for the Biletnikoff behind Marvin Harrison.
He's a pretty damn good wide receiver also.
He is. But number-wise, I understand Heisman trophies win it. Eye-wise, you pass the eye test. Marvin Harrison was arguably the number 2 player in college football last year for me.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. is unbelievable.
Yes, I watched
the Ohio State games are on. I see him, and he is going to be good, man. Whoever gets him is going to be.
They got a player. And I tell you what, Dan, when I seen him in 8th grade at the summer camp or prep, this kid, he was like 5'9", string bean, 165 pounds, Dan.
Yeah, but he's still young, but he was probably really fast.
He was really lightning speed, but I tell you what, I went to watch his senior game at Hershey. That's what last year at Hershey Park where they played. I usually go there every year. That's not at Hershey Park anymore.
What was he then?
He was like 6'2", 195. But, Dan, this kid can high point any ball off the line. Dan, I don't care if you got Sauce Gardner at that age. He wasn't covering him. That's the way he was.
Is crazy, man.
He was insane. He really was. But, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to draft, Dan, because, man, we could it's craziness with draft.
Yeah, read this comment right here.
Which one? Go ahead, you put him up. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
Yep. I think someone might trade up that's in the top 10 to get Pat's pick to take Harrison. But trade up
Pats should not trade their pick.
Yeah, insane. If you do that, then you're setting yourself back for best available QB. But, okay, insane. Let me ask you, I know you're the Pats fan. Do you want to go Drake May? Do you want to go Caleb Williams? Or I think Jaden Daniels is going to drop. I think he's going to be between a 12 and 20 player. That's where I think he's dropping. Even though he's a Heisman Trophy winner, I think he drops. But he doesn't. But Dan, think about Jaden Daniels. And it's saying, let me know how you feel about this. If Jaden Daniels is there, I do not take him if I'm the Patriots because Jaden Daniels needs weapons. Otherwise, he runs the ball. And that's not in the NFL league. Running quarterbacks don't work anymore. They don't work unless you have.
Yeah, but is Jaden Daniels more of a runner or more of a pocket guy?
He is more of I want to say both. I mean, he is a Lamar Jackson runner, but with a good arm. But he needs that. He belongs at Ohio State, Dan, to me, because the thing is here.
They run that type of offense.
They run that offense, but if it breaks down, he doesn't read progression routes. He goes, okay, one's not there. Malik Neighbors is not there. I'm running the ball. That's not Belichick's system. Patriots don't have weapons, Dan, so I can't take him. If it's me, I don't drop out. I take Drake May because I think Drake May, he doesn't have weapons at North Carolina. I take him. I think he's a better quarterback. Mac Jones was a system quarterback. Waddle. All these
Devontae he was at Bama. Bama was loaded. Exactly. You only have to play solid football to win at Alabama.
Exactly. He was a product of the system. May, I agree. And saying I want May, I think May is arguably the top quarterback in this year's draft.
Yep, I like Drake May.
I am not sold. I like him a lot. I am not sold on Caleb Williams. I've watched too many games with him, and he makes good decisions. He can beat you with his legs. He's a prototype QB, but Drake May is that guy that can sit in the pocket. And he's not afraid to, wait till the last second, take a hit, and drop the ball.
Like he will.
Yes.
Pocket. Yeah. And take a shot and still complete a pass.
I agree.
That's what I like about him. Caleb Williams might run. I like Drake May better, but I'm interested to see if Williams even goes somewhere. I think Caleb Williams is going to drop.
And the crazy thing is, now Williams already said he's not going to the combine because he should be arguably the number 1 consensus pick. So he's not going to the combine. Now I heard Jaden Daniels. He is going to the combine. He will, but you know what? He's going to handpick his throws, Dan. You know how they do that. They're going to handpick their throws.
I like that Jaden Daniels is going to go to the combine.
I love that. Because he
has. I don't care if I'm Caleb Williams. I'm probably going to be a number 1 pick, but you might not be. The Bears ain't going to take Caleb Williams.
No, we all know, Dan, that pro day jumps you or drops you. We know that. So why not, hey, I'm not going to put any stock into it. I should be number 1. What if I have a bad pro day? I want to put
both of them. I want to put both of them. Like I want to go to both. If I'm Caleb Williams, I want to do with a combine and I want a pro day.
And that's why I respect Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winner. You know what? Okay.
You know why you want to go to the combine? The interview process.
The Wonderlic test, which I don't understand what the hell that is, but those
but
situations.
Still, you want to talk to the teams face to face.
You want to interview. You want
to show them. They want to bring you in.
Yeah,
and show you film and see if you recognize it. Like to me, I'm not saying he's. I don't know. Me, I'm not taking any chances. I don't care how good I am. Mm-hmm. I'm still going to go to the combine.
I am too. I believe you should.
That's all.
I definitely do. All right, let's get to this game. Chiefs and the Patriots. Speaking of the Patriots here, the Chiefs and the Patriots. I mean, I thought the Patriots would actually play a little bit better, Dan, but man, I tell you what, I don't know. I don't have words, honestly. I really don't.
They're just a bad football team.
When was the last time we could say the Patriots sucked? When can we? What, the last year Brady? You know?
Yeah, well, at least about the Washington, they lost 5 in a row. But KC is just a way better team, no matter how bad KC was playing. This one, I didn't think they were going to lose.
I didn't think so either. I didn't think so either. But the Chiefs aren't what they are, really, Dan. I mean, you look at both teams from the Super Bowl last year, the Eagles and the Chiefs. The Chiefs' problem is
they should have kept Juju Smith-Schuster, I think.
I agree with that. I agree with that too. But my thing is like, okay, you have Patrick Mahomes who can beat you at any point with anybody. Yeah. But Dan, sometimes that catches up to you because, man, you got some bonehead wide receivers making a lot of drop balls and some bonehead plays, man. You know what I mean?
Kadarius Toney, the offside.
Oh god, and a couple drop balls last week too.
How you're offside and you can see the ball. Like I don't really understand that one.
Oh god, don't get me started.
The thing about Kadarius Toney, he doesn't take things seriously. He half-asses it. His attitude sucks probably still.
You know what? I bet he's good friends with George Pickens. You know that?
I'm just telling you that there was a reason he got traded, and I think he doesn't take it seriously enough.
But he's one of those guys, Dan, that has all that talent. We've seen him have this talent at KC. But then it's like, okay, why do you want a player that plays 50% of the plays? You know, just going back to the George Pickens situation where it was a block on his side and he moved away from the block and they asked him,
think about it.
Block? I didn't want to get hurt.
Giants traded him to Kansas City last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he was such a great wide, it's just like what, second year? If he was such a good wide receiver and their best player, he'd be on the field all the time.
True.
He'd have 1,000-something yards if he was that good.
Agree.
100%. I'm talking about more mentally, not his skill set. I'm talking about learning the offense and learning and knowing where to go and that type of thing. That he's got great talent, but
I agree.
But Kansas City is not the same team. But I'm interested to see how Kansas City plays to finish the season out. Because in my opinion, some people think that no matter what, even if Kansas City gets playoffs, they're done. But the playoffs are a different story, in my opinion. And I'm interested to see how they play to finish the year. Finish strong.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I want to see how they play in the back end of the season. You got 3 games left here. You know, you do have the division wrapped up. Denver's not going to catch you. We know that. So you got the division, but you got to go in with momentum 100%. I want to see how they do because Andy Reid, we know he's a hell of a coach. He can game plan anything out there, even if you don't have the best wide receivers. He'll put you in a situation to win the game. So, I want to see how they do. Yep. But Dan, what in the hell happened in the next game here?
First of all, the offensive line was horrible again, but they do suck.
Yes, it was.
The run blocking was atrocious.
Oh god!
Like on one play, JMS and Bredesen both went to block a linebacker and let the nose tackle go, and he destroyed Barkley. Like their zone blocking scheme, they are horrible at it. So they couldn't run the ball, and their offensive line was horrible. Horrible.
It was. I think I've seen that on. I know the player talking about. I think I've seen it on Twitter where I remember that old Top Gun movie where Goose said, "Where'd he go? Where'd who go?" Somebody put that on Twitter. It's like the linebackers coming right through, and Jingle Hunter Smith goes the wrong way. It's like, where'd he go?
What they used to run last year was the pin and pull.
Mm-hmm.
The pin and pull run play. They ran a ton last year. They've hardly run that all season this year. And I want to know why.
Why do you think? Why do you think?
I have no idea. Why wouldn't you use it's basically the same offensive line besides JMS and Pugh. So why wouldn't you use what worked last year in the run game? If the zone blocking is not working, do pin and pull what worked. And that's the thing. That's why I'm not going on a rant here, but I'm looking at the offensive line coach. It's like they don't work on it. It looks like they don't practice it.
But isn't your head coach more entitled to say, okay, why aren't we game planning, but what we succeed with? That comes on Dable as well, right?
It does, but that's why I think he just lets Kafka go sometimes. I just think that They're not. They're. I'm sorry. Their offensive line is bad because they don't have the best talent. They have a rookie at center, and I think their old line coach is horrible. Bobby Johnson. I think he's horrible.
Is he gone?
He gone. I'd fire him.
Okay.
This is the second season.
I agree. I agree with that.
Evan Neal hasn't developed at all. It's like they don't practice it or work on the right techniques. And I'm sorry, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not coaching well in the offense, I don't know. The Giants stuff.
I agree 100%. Yeah,
I thought maybe they had a chance, but the Saints aren't as good as people think they are. They made the Saints look pretty good.
No, I mean they got a good defense, but their offense is
iffy. What they were doing was they were tricking the Giants into running, and they were blitzing and hitting the gaps all game.
I agree with that. Yeah, the offensive line's bad. I mean, we all know it all starts with the offensive line. You can have the best quarterback back there, but if you don't have time to, go through your progressions,
that's all I think about. Offensive line.
Bad. It's bad. It definitely is.
Yep. So their season's over. Yep. That's another loss for me.
Eileen says Payne and Joe 100% want Caleb Williams. Wow. I think it's going to be a bust, Dan. I really do. I don't want to say bust, Dan. I don't want to say that about with a talented quarterback like that. But I don't know, Dan. I don't want to say who he reminds me of because I don't want to say it. But I don't think he's going to be a legitimate quarterback in the NFL. I just don't see it. I really don't. I don't.
No, I think he's going to need he's going to have to be on the right team, have a good QB coach, be developed the right way. He's developed well, maybe.
Yep. Eddie, what's going on? Eddie says, Eddie, what's going on, Eddie? How you doing, brother? Yeah, I agree with that one, Dan. But let's go to the next game here. Well, Dan, I always coin this phrase, a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Well, the Carolina Panthers, Dan, found
another win.
2 wins on the season, Dan.
Yep.
Wow. Talk about a game where I didn't really care, but it turned out to be a pretty cool game watching at the end, Dan. It really was. But Dan, it's okay. I know Carolina sucks, Dan. I'm going to say it. Carolina sucks. But Dan, what are we saying about the Atlanta Falcons then?
The Falcons suck also. This game was 9-7.
Yes.
I think Atlanta's lucky they have as many wins as they have. They are a bad football team too. You lose to the Panthers. The Panthers are horrible. It just goes to show they both suck. I can't believe Atlanta only had 7 points versus that team.
I agree. Eddie says Caleb has no leadership skills. I agree with that 100%. I won't even get into that. I can't wait.
9-7. What a horrible football game.
It is. It's
Did you see the crowd? How many people were in the stadium?
Did you? Somebody put on Twitter, Dan. 20 minutes before the game.
15 minutes before the game?
Yeah, that's what 15 minutes before the game. You buy nosebleeds for $5. Probably, you know what, Dan? You buy one, you get one free or a whole row free. Honestly, you buy one ticket for $10.
Oh, my goodness.
You get the whole row for free. And then they tell you, hey, nobody's at the field. You can move down to the front row if you want to. Just myself? No, the whole row. Come on down. That's how bad it was. It's bad, Dan. It's bad.
Yeah.
It definitely is. Oh, man. Eileen says Payne still misses Matt Patricia. I said Eileen about to get chewed out by Payne. Oh, we got a fight going on, Dan. We got a fight in the crowd.
Matt
Dan.
Patricia was the offensive coordinator. That's a different game I'm thinking of.
Danny, that's basically a Jets-Giants game. Eddie says.
No, I think the Giants would beat the Falcons and the Panthers. To be honest, and the Jets. That's how bad those two teams are.
I think they do too. I mean, they can score, Dan. I can see that. Yeah, definitely.
The Falcons had 7 points versus the Panthers. The Panthers don't have a defense. The Jets have a defense.
Agree. Yeah, agree. Yep. All right. So enough with that. Enough with that crazy ass game. 9-7, Dan. Who cares about that game? That was just a draft pick game, Dan.
Yep.
But the Rams and the Commanders, Dan. Our division here, the Commanders. What's this, 5 straight now, Dan?
Yeah, and the Commanders actually only lost by 8. Yeah, they've lost 5 in a row.
Jeez. Dan, I mean, we won't talk about the game here, but do they believe in Sam Howell? I mean, sitting at 5.
I'm not going to blame Sam Howell.
I'm not either. You can't.
I don't think it's Howell's fault. They traded their best 2 defensive ends that are really good players, and I don't know what you expect from them. They're going to need more weapons, and they're going to have a lot of changes in the offseason.
I agree.
Yep.
Now, I don't think they get rid of Sam Howell. I'm going to, use
no,
him.
Why would you get rid of Sam Howell? It doesn't make
Yeah,
any
and
sense.
the thing is, but you know what? I can actually, and since it's the holidays, I'm going to be good. Hey, it's the holidays. We got to be good to each other. 9-7. The Redskins keep it closer. But my thing is this. Okay, we know Ron Rivera is going to be gone after the season, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we know Eric Bieniemy is the next head coach, correct?
I'm going to say yes.
I think he is. It's not set in stone, but I think he will be.
I'm going to say yes.
But if he is, Dan, I honestly think he might go out and get him a quarterback like a Jayden Daniels late.
Possible.
Because he likes that mobile moving quarterback, Dan, with pieces that can flow the game. He likes that flow quarterback game. That's Jayden Daniels. To me, you know what, Dan? I'm not going to, you know what? I might just go ahead and say this. I might say this right now. This is crazy. It's out of the box here, but he might take Caleb Williams at 5.
That would be wild.
It would be wild, but that fits the mold, right? A moving quarterback that can get out of the pocket, run the ball, a Patrick Mahomes, not IQ-wise, Dan. I'm not going to say IQ-wise. Talent-wise, arm strength, mobility, that fits the bill for a Bieniemy a quarterback, doesn't it?
Yeah. Eddie says Daniel's going top 10. Maybe.
It depends on how it's drafted.
See that.
To the right mold, I can see that, but the only thing is he is light. He does need a couple more weapons, and to me, he really doesn't read that progression. His timing line was to Malik Neighbors so much this year. He really didn't look at the backups out there. So I want to see how he does. I wish him well. I love the quarterback. I think he is a great quarterback. I think stat-wise, he put up some numbers that are remarkable. Better numbers than Joe Burrow did. Better numbers than Lamar Jackson did on both sides of the ball when he won the Heisman Trophy as well. So I want to see how he does, but Dan, let's talk about a team that's playing lights out, man. This 49er team, my God, Dan.
They look great. 45-29. God. I'm surprised the Cardinals scored 29 points, but man,
I was surprised.
Offense is unbelievable.
Are they the best team in football right now, Dan?
Yes.
I agree.
I think there's no doubt about it at the moment.
I agree. They're playing both sides of the ball. 3-phase game. They're playing it right away. And
yeah, they are. They're probably a big-time favorite to win the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah, I think they're the odds-on favorite right now. I think they're plus 125 right now to win it all. Of course, no team's going to be negative, of course, yet, but they are 125.
A couple of teams that could probably beat them. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the Dallas and Eagles. Maybe.
Yeah, you know what? I think Dallas can beat them, but they got to be the number 1 seed. They got to play at home because on the way they're different. And where you play the Niners, they're strong. And Dan, they're the type team.
Tough, man.
Yeah, they're the type team. I give so much credit to Shanahan because he puts these players in positions to excel, and he runs a lot of decoys too. Last game I seen he freaking had Debo, McCaffrey, and Ayuk in the backfield on one play, Dan. And I was like, what is this like? What is this like Oklahoma Sooner, a wishbone football? And then Debo gets in motion and McCaffrey goes in motion and Ayuk's in the backfield. So I'm thinking like, okay, you know what? Debo could be a lead blocker. CMC could be a lead blocker.
The decoy stuff.
They're all 3 decoys. He fakes it. He fakes the play action and he goes deep. And I'm like, you got, even though it was incomplete, he threw it to Kittle. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, what the hell? Talk about innovative,
They probably waited all year to show that.
Yeah.
For some reason.
You know what the thing is, though? You show things because you got to put in the playbook. If I'm playing, I do it all the time. If I see a play I've ever seen from another team, I'm writing that down. I have my assistant write that down. Like, hey, when they went in this position here, remember that. Next time I see the position they haven't ran it, they're going to run something different or go back to it. So, yeah. And he says, as long as Trent Helms is healthy in San Francisco, that left tackle, man, he's old and he's good, man. He's
great, man. He's a great tackle, man. His whole career.
That left tackle's nasty, man. Yeah.
This guy I wish we could have gotten before he even drafted Deal when he was a free agent years ago.
He's good. I mean, he reminds me of for us, a Tyron Smith, but you know what? There's a difference between playing healthy and not playing healthy. This dude stays healthy, though.
Yeah, but when he is out, you saw how much it affected San Francisco.
It's different.
When you take out CMC and Samuel.
Definitely.
It's totally different.
Definitely. So. Well, let's go to the next game, Dan. Oh, my God. Talk about something that pissed me off last week, Dan. Holy shit. Let's put it this way, Dan. James Cook outscored the entire Dallas Cowboy offense. Okay.
They ran all over you guys like that. And that was the surprising thing. Like, they just ran. Like, they were running the ball the whole game down your throat. The whole freaking game, dude.
Yeah, on the Cowboy show, I think Dave said, he said, yeah, they ran the ball on us, but my thing is like, okay, well, Dan Quinn, I give you an F. McCarthy, I give you an F. Because the first quarter, yeah, we got the ball, we moved it down, we didn't get anything out of it. Yeah. But what happens in the second quarter when you run the same shit? You pound the ball. Where the hell are our adjustments? Why don't we bring the extra guy in the box to stop this? Because it's James. I mean, listen, Josh Allen only threw the ball 9 completions for the entire game. We shut that down. Running the ball, over 200 yards rushing.
266 yards.
Yes.
89.
Oh, God.
You guys had 106 passing yards.
Dan,
they had 85.
Stop, Dan. Please stop.
351 to 195 total yards. Here's one more.
Dan, stop.
28 first downs for the Bills.
Dan, you're killing me,
Sorry,
Dan.
Man. Sorry,
me, brother. It's the holiday season, Dan. Please don't. Please
at least they'll be in the playoffs.
That is true, Dan. But coming off that game last week, Dan, it's like
I'm watching the 49er game.
What's that?
Not as bad as the 49er game.
But Dan, listen,
man.
But Dan, okay, at least San Francisco moved the ball around, throwing the ball, running the ball. It was a balanced offense in the game. I can get that. But Dan, when you played Buffalo, James Cook, what are they doing? ISO, James Cook. Oh, what are they doing? ISO, James Cook. Oh, what are they doing? ISO, James Cook. Why are we having a 5-man box, okay, with one linebacker and pulling the other outside linebacker?
Have 6 or 7 in the box.
I would bring 8 or 9 down there sometimes. Play man on man, Dan. Make them play man on man. Have Gilmore, have DeRon Bland on Diggs and whoever you want. The tight end. They didn't even use a tight end this week, Dan. And Dallas struggles. They didn't have to use a tight end, Dan. That's how bad it was.
Man, but maybe it's just like people say they're horrible. They're bad on the road. I think if this was at home, this might have been a different game for whatever reason.
Yeah,
for some reason,
I don't know.
But if you notice, ever since Buffalo fired their OC,
Joe Brady, he's turned his team around, man.
Whether they're running or throwing, they're more effective by a lot now.
And I was watching. So I was watching not watching it. I was reading a podcast earlier, just reading your comments on there, and one of the viewers on there said a great point. He's taking the Bills back to what they were.
Yeah.
Managing a game, letting Josh Allen pick what he wants to do at the line of scrimmage. Either if he sees a less man in the block, run the damn ball. If he sees, a coverage where he likes, throw the ball.
But that's why they ran the ball, because the Cowboys kept showing a front where it's favorable to the run. So if you're going to have a 5-man front, and I got 5 blockers, I'm going to run at you the whole time until you do something different.
Yeah, Eddie says, same thing. I'm still shaking my head. I definitely am. I'm shaking my head. I've been shaking my head all week, I tell you, I don't know what it is, and, we'll definitely get to our picks this week.
McCarthy just got out-coached in this game?
I think, honestly, the whole entire coaching staff got out-coached.
You think they just got out-coached entirely?
Dan, I tell you what. Okay, here's my thing. Dan Quinn all season. Dan, Linda, how you doing? Thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. Happy holidays to you, hon. Appreciate that. My thing is, okay, Dan Quinn has run stunt and twists all season long. Okay, all season long, Dan.
Did they run it this game?
They didn't run shit this week, Dan.
Why?
That's the problem. That's what I don't understand.
Why would you change? Like, we held the Bills to less points.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Our defense did.
That's what I mean.
We held them to 14 points.
I think he was more worried about playing a cover 2 zone.
Run over by them.
I think the game plan so much, Dan. I don't want to say it is. You go to Baskin Robbins, they're still in business. You go to Baskin Robbins and you want a mint chocolate chip, ice cream cone. Your game plan for getting there and getting it, and then all of a sudden, they're out of it. So I gotta go with the vanilla ice cream cone. That's what I think it was, because they didn't run stunts, they didn't run twists, number one. And the other thing is, I think they game planned for that passing with Diggs, Dalton Kincaid. I think that's what they did. They said, okay, James Cook is not going to beat you. Last week I said to Dave, I was like, the one person that scares me is James Cook. When he gets started under this Joe Brady offense, it's different, Dan. It's different.
Good running back, actually.
I agree.
It's like this momentum about him.
He's a downhill runner. When he gets started downhill, he's a downhill runner.
Good.
Yeah, he's
for the playoffs. That's good. But if I'm the Bills, I want to do that. I don't want to air the ball out 30-something times. I want to throw it when I can and run the ball effectively. That's effective for them.
That's what's scary with the Buffalo Bills right now. Joe Brady has got the momentum. He's got the right play calling ability now with Josh Allen and his team, and they're going to be scary going into this.
Wasn't Joe Brady at LSU?
Yes, he was. He was with Joe Burrows. He was with Joe Burrows' offensive.
He's definitely a creative offensive mind.
All right, let's get to the next game before we haven't got to our picks yet, Dan. Holy shit!
I know it's been like an hour.
I know. Baltimore and Jacksonville, Dan. Wow, Baltimore is that damn good.
Baltimore's a very good football team.
They are.
I don't doubt them. They're very good. They're probably the best team in the AFC.
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that one. All right, we won't spend too much time on it. Let's go. The Eagles. Dan, I just knew the Eagles would lose. I didn't think they would lose that bad, but not the way they did in dramatic. A walk off, Dan. I want to say basically a walk off.
But also in that game, if you watch all 22, Hurts had a guy wide open in the middle of the field when he threw that deep pass.
Yeah, he did.
That pick at the end.
Yes, he did.
Fighting for a field goal there, not a touchdown.
Oh.
I think Hurts was too aggressive, and there were some Eagle fans telling me they're diehard saying he shouldn't have thrown. He should have taken the guy underneath. I think Hurts decided to throw that ball at the end before the snap.
I think so too. I mean, I put
guys were wide open in the middle of the field all night for the Eagles,
and it's crazy.
They never took advantage of it.
It's crazy being the villain of the Eagles here. I even put on Twitter. I said, you know what, man, I disagree with this call here. You have arguably, I don't want to say the best kicker in the NFL. I think Aubrey's the best kicker right now in the NFL for the Dallas Cowboys.
But you're going to play for the field goal. You're not playing for that play.
When you have Mr. Jake Elliott can win games. Last week he won the freaking game for you. You know what? Give him the ability. Play for overtime. Get 15 yards here. Take
even
what the defense.
It's a 60-yard kick.
Right.
Give him a shot.
Move the sticks, get the field goal, play for an extra time frame here. Go play for it rather than going to the line of scrimmage, taking the check down wide underneath to get you in field goal range right there.
All
come down, snap the ball, spike the ball, get the field goal.
They actually had one timeout.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I think they had one timeout. I would have moved with that one there, Dan. I don't think I wouldn't have taken the timeout. What I would have done if I'm the head coach there, and I know I'm not going to the end zone to get the touchdown to win the game. I'm going to OT. I've already told my team I'm going to OT. Hurts. Here's what I want you to do. We're going to run 2 go routes, AJ and Devon, whoever it was, whatever. Take the go route, go the underneath route, get us that 15 yards, put Jake in position, okay, wherever you get the ball. Let the ref, pinpoint the ball, what hash mark he wants to do. I'm talking to Jake Elliott at that point with one timeout left. Go to the line, Jalen, spike the ball. Don't call timeout. Then what I'm doing is I'm going to look at it real quick because they're going to call timeout, and then I run one play.
Yeah.
To put the ball where I want it on the right side of the hash mark, where I want to kick the ball, wherever Jake Elliott wants to kick the ball. That's where I'm going. Call timeout, kick the field goal, go to OT.
Exactly. But one thing I like about the game is good for Drew Lock.
Yeah.
That's why I like that story. He hasn't played. People gave up on him.
Agreed.
And that was a beautiful throw and catch. And that's good for Drew Lock. That makes me think that maybe, let's see how it plays the rest of the year. Maybe he'll be the answer.
Wow. Over all the money you just gave Mr. Geno Smith too, huh?
I wouldn't have given Geno Smith that money, but
Geno
Smith's getting older. If Geno Smith gets hurt, you got someone that can play at least.
That's very true.
I don't see him taking a quarterback is all I'm saying. Like, not at all. It'd be a playoff team.
I tell you what, though, Dan, kudos to Drew Lock, but man, I hate to say it, Bradbury, you're on the flip script of that because
Bradbury's old. He's a little long in the tooth now.
Wow, definitely.
Yeah, he was good for us that 1 year, great last year, but
yep. All right, so Dan, I messed up there. That's 7-11 this week, so it's 137 to 153, Dan.
52.
Yeah. 52, that's right, 152. 152, 137, 152. 15-point lead, Dan, with 3 weeks to go.
Yeah, the 2 bad weeks did me in, I think.
Well, yeah, exactly. You're under 5.
Some of these games went totally how we didn't expect.
I think what we're going to do, Dan, it's the last week of the season, and what we'll do is we will pick one game where we can't pick the same game, whatever we want. Opposite games will be triple points. How's that? Or double points on opposite games we pick. And you can pick one lock of the week. I'll let you go first being the underdog. You get 3-time points on that one game, Dan. It's Christmas season. Dan, it's Christmas season, okay? I'm in a good mood, okay? Trying to help you, Dan. Damn it. Trying to help you, Dan. Trying to help you. All right. Let's get into this week, Dan. Let's get into this week. Man, we've been on here an hour, so much to talk about. But let's get in this game tonight, Dan. In about 1 hour and 15 minutes, the Rams and the Saints, Dan.
I think the Rams will win this game in a close game.
I do too. I was listening to something today. I didn't bet this game. My thing is, I almost took the Rams tonight minus the I think it's 4 or something like that. The against the spread, the home team in the NFL on Thursday night have won 13 straight against the spread games. Dan, the home team, whoever's the favorite against the spread, 13 straight games on Thursday night
football. What's the spread tonight?
I think it's 4.
4. So I think they'll win by 7 or more.
I think so too. I might take it tonight. Yeah, I'm going to go Rams too. I like how Stafford's playing this because Dan, they're in a wild card right now. They got to play to win right now. They got to keep that momentum. They got to play to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to game plan a little more and be able to be more effective offense than the Giants were versus them.
And the Saints don't scare me on offense, man. They really don't. They don't scare me.
No, if you have a solid defense, you should beat them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't say it's have a good defense, but Cooper Kupp, Paku is playing great as well. And what's his name? The running back Kyren Williams. I love how he's playing as well. So
I think their offensive line's a little bit better as well.
Yeah, they're healthy too. So
if Stafford time, he'll be all right.
Yep. Let's go to move to the next game here. The Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dan, I'm just going to say Pittsburgh has given up. They've lost this team 100%. The crowd's not behind them. Even at home.
That comment by Pickens tells me that some of them quit.
Dan, and even to say that on media, national media.
Why would you say something like that?
I don't get it.
Why would you even think something like that in your head?
I mean, to me, you know what? If they ask me that, Dan, I watched the play and I'm like, well, that son of a bitch didn't even play that play. And after the play was over, Dan, he actually just turned his back as the play is going on, didn't put a block out there for the running back. And after the media asked him, during the media, they said, what happened during that play? Why did, that was a run block for the wide receiver. Shouldn't you, sprung him outside? I wasn't getting in there. I didn't want to get hurt. I would have said,
why are you playing football then?
Exactly. You got, I teach my kids, I
don't block.
You better block somebody. You're probably
not going to get hurt on a block. Out of everything that you do on a field, blocking is probably the least risky.
It's insane. This team has just lost everything. George Pickens, arguably your best wide receiver, doesn't want to play. He don't want to get hurt. It's just like, okay, whatever it is. Tomlinson, they're talking about being on the hot seat right now.
Yeah, Tomlin won't get fired, but like I said, they just don't have the team, the players, the talent exactly to. They'll have a defense, but they need an answer quarterback, and their offense just isn't very good.
I tell you what, man, if you bring Ben Roethlisberger back with this defense, this team is going to win. They're arguably pushing the Baltimore Ravens for the first spot in that division.
Well, their defense is good, and for as the Steelers not had a bad year, but you can't imagine Tomlin's very happy about hearing that from Pickens. I wonder what he said to him behind closed doors.
Dan, I tell you what,
he happy with that one.
Dan, listen, I'm like, of course, I just took a job. I'll tell you where I'm going at later in the show, during our Christmas thing. But my thing is, like, as a coach, number one, I'm going to call my player out. If you want to play for this team and you want to play that way, I'm just like I told you earlier. There's the door. Go ahead. You know what? I won't cut you, but you know what? For the remaining 3 games of the season, go sit your ass on the bench and be the Gatorade boy for the entire team.
Because that pissed me off.
Exactly. That pissed me off. That would piss me off. George Pickens should have been cut. I agree with it if I could cut him, but the money wise, it won't make sense to do that.
Exactly.
You can't do it. But you know what? I'm benching him. I'm making a statement. I'm making a statement right there and saying, hey, you know what? I don't care what the fans say. I don't care what people say out there. When you don't want to play for your 52 other brothers on his team and you don't want to make a block for your own brother out there, then sit your ass on the bench because you know what? You ain't part of the Pittsburgh Steelers Foundation right now. Very simple. Here's a great one.
Yeah, he would.
Exactly. Hines Ward would have smacked the shit out of Pickens.
Lloyd or freaking
Harrison.
Who was the defensive end, the white guy they had? What was his name?
Oh God, what's his name?
It was on those same teams.
I don't remember what his name was.
Green?
Oh, Joe. No. Didn't he move to Carolina for a while? That guy?
I think so. There was a certain guy I just don't remember his name.
He became a coach for a while with Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, he was on that team.
I know who you're talking about. Oh God, what is this Green? Exactly. Kevin Green.
Kevin Green, yes.
Kevin Green.
I like Kevin Green.
Oh my God, man. I wish Hines Ward would have or Troy Polamalu. You know what I mean?
Greg Lloyd was the linebacker they had. He was huge.
Yeah, and Mark, what was his name? James Harrison. James Harrison got, he quit playing because he couldn't hit people the way he hits people. He would be fine. He would lose his damn check for a hit, Yep. But yeah, and Kevin Green. There we go. Thank you, Eddie. Yeah, Kevin Green. It was on the tip of my tongue that I said, I was like going through names. I was like, because he went to Carolina, became a coach at Carolina, I believe, like a linebacker coach at Carolina as well. Yeah. All right. So Dan, let's move on here, man. Oh my God, Dan, let's talk about this game. Buffalo and the Chargers.
The Chargers are done. I think Buffalo's going to put like 35-40 on them.
I think so too. I
realize that they are done. The Chargers are done. No Herbert. They're done.
I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. The thing is, Dallas plays at 4:00. This is a 1:00 game. They're going to make a statement to Miami. We're back. We're going to take this division from you. We're putting up lights out. And I think this offense can continue the momentum the way they are. I think they're going to come out, run the ball. And we didn't even see Josh Allen throw the ball last week. 9 throws last week, 7 catches. I think it's going to be a rout by Buffalo Bills.
I think they're going to destroy them.
Rout. Yep. Now, let's move on to this game. Cleveland and Houston. Now, I just wrote down here earlier today, I was looking at it. C.J. Stroud is still in concussion protocol. Now, the Browns, questionable, both running backs, Kareem Hunt and Ford as well.
And the Texans have Keenum, right?
Case Keenum and Joe Flacco is questionable too. I think the Texans
win at home.
I think so too. I think Case Keenum can put them in position to win. Playing at home, they're different. I really do.
Eddie says the Bills can put up 80.
Holy shit. Buffalo's going to smoke them by 40. Damn, Eddie. Damn.
Yeah. They're really,
if the Raiders could put it, wow. That's a great statement right there. Yeah, exactly.
The Bills are way better than the Raiders.
Wow. Wow.
I just think they're going to get their asses kicked.
I think so too. Oh, Eddie's going with the Browns. Wow. Okay. All right.
I think the Texans win that.
I do too. Now, Joe Flacco is questionable too. DTR might be the starting quarterback otherwise, but I think Houston has too many weapons, man. I do. I think where they're playing at home, they play a lot better at home. So I'm gonna go Texans as well, Dan.
Yep.
All right, Dan. Well, let's talk about 2 sucky teams, Dan.
The New York Jets in this game.
I didn't either, Dan. I didn't either.
I went with the team with the better defense.
That's what I did at home.
Even though the Jets got no offense, the Washington ain't that good, and their offensive line's horrible. I think they get like 6 sacks in this game.
Okay.
Force like 3 turnovers.
Mm-hmm. Eddie's taking the Browns because their defense. I agree with that too. I can agree with that.
Browns have a good defense.
Yeah, no argument with that one. Their defense is solid. I love how.
I think the game will be close.
Mm-hmm. Eileen says, "This is America's game on Sunday. Are you kidding me? Is this game really America's game of the week? The Jets and the." I was going to say, are you kidding? Because again, I don't get game of the week. I get every game, of course, on my screen. So I don't know what game of the week is. If that was, holy shit.
Baltimore, San Fran.
Baltimore, San Fran's on Christmas. That's on Christmas.
Fins and Dallas are probably the 2 best games of the week.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. All right. The Jets stink.
Yeah, we play on Christmas too.
Suck, Eileen. The Jets still
suck, Eileen.
Okay.
We know that. Their offense sucks.
Yeah.
Their defense is really good.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jets here. I think they're the better defense at home. Both teams are sucking right now, but I got to go with the team at home. I really do. Eileen is a illogical Jets fan.
No, she's totally logical, I think.
Yes, definitely is. Yeah. It's my heart. It's my heart game of the week.
It could be an ugly game, though.
What is it? What do you think the score of the game is, Dan? I mean, the Jets can't score. Washington is, I don't know what the hell they are, honestly.
I think the Jets will score 20.
The Jets will score 20?
20-10.
Damn, really?
I think they get a defensive touchdown.
Yeah, I think it's...
Sometimes the Jets are capable of scoring, and the Washington is not a good football team at all.
No, they're not.
They have no pass rush. None.
True.
I don't know. And they've lost 5 in a row.
But can the Jets put up points on a bad defense too? I mean, they can't score on anybody. Can they?
The Jets put up 30 on who? A couple weeks ago? Who was it?
What did they do last week, Dan?
Who they play last week? The Finns.
The Finns.
The Finns have a good offense.
They have a good defense too. Ever since Ramsey,
they're a good football. They're way better than the Jets are overall.
Yeah, ever since Ramsey's came back, I think they're number 2 in the league on defense. Honestly, that's kind of remarkable. But I mean, then again, you haven't played anybody over 500 too. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. Eileen says Dallas Miami is they're 4. I know they're 4 o'clock, but the game of the week. I thought the Jets were on at 1 o'clock too. I was like, you got to be kidding me. There's no way. Redskins 17, Jets 6. Eddie says Jets have how? The Jets have how? Has how?
You mean the Washington is how?
Washington is how.
They still lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, the Jets defense has given up. I don't think they have given up though. I mean,
they're how long they've been on the field?
That's the thing.
Most games.
That's the thing. Yeah. Jets put up 30 on the Texans in the rain.
Texans are better than the Skins. Washington is.
That's true. I'm going to think it's close. I'm probably going to go Jets 13. Washington. I'm going to give them a weird score. I'm going to go 12. I think 13-12. It's going to be damn close. Damn close. All right, let's move on, Dan. Seattle and the Titans.
I think Seattle, that win they have is going to give them momentum. It's going to give Drew Lock some confidence.
Gotcha. Okay, Eddie. Yeah,
I think Seattle wins this game because I think they're going to get a little bit of momentum off that Eagles win.
I think so too. I think right now they're in third place. With the Rams here, the Rams have the aggression over them, so they got to continue to win here. And this is like a layup game for them. So you got to hold serve. And the way they're coming off that win last week,
you can't lose to the Titans.
No. If you do, you're out of the playoffs. You deserve to be out right now, 100%. So I think they win this game.
But my question is, does Geno Smith have a chance to play?
Well, let me ask you this, Dan. After last week's game where, hey, Block got you to the promised land, came back with 92 yards, Dan, in a minute and 26 seconds. Me either. I'm going with the hot hand, right?
If I absolutely have to.
Do you ride with the hot hand? I mean, I do.
Yes.
I do too.
Think about it. Think about what it would do to Drew Lock's psyche mentally.
Very true.
It would be like, I just won this game for you. Played great in the game. And you're gonna sit me? I don't care if Geno Smith was good last year.
Exactly. 92 yards.
You go with Drew Lock, period.
I agree, 100%. You go with the hot QB that got you there. 92 yards in a minute, 26 seconds.
They mess around and go, we're starting Geno Smith the rest of the year. I want to trade.
I'm glad this is in college because his ass would be in the transfer portal if that happened right away.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that he should get an opportunity to finish the season.
Yep. And he's going with Seattle 2 by 10. Okay, I can see that. I'm probably going to go. I think the line is 7.5. I think it was last I looked. I'm going Seattle here, of course, even with the line as well. But Dan, here's our first disagreement here. You're going Colts. I'm going Falcons. I don't know why the hell I'm going Falcons here, but Dan,
they're at home, I guess. But the Falcons suck.
I'll tell you why.
Just lost 9-7 to the Panthers.
I understand that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But why I'm going to tell you I'm going to take them is because my coin flipped and heads was the Falcons, so I'm going with the Falcons. Okay.
I don't think the Falcons are going to win this game. I think the Colts will win 20-10.
You know what? I think the Falcons are going to win 20-10. How's that?
No, man. The Falcons
bad, listen, if the Carolina Panthers
can happen.
You're right. If the Carolina Panthers can win a game, damn sure
anything can happen. But the Colts are better than the Panthers are. I think they have a winning record.
Eddie agrees. Colts are going to whip Atlanta. I kind of agree with that, but toss-up games. The toss-up games, I think. Yeah, usually the toss-up games, I try to go opposite than Dan does. Honestly, it's worked out quite a few times for me, but this game, I think Dan's going to take on this one. But listen, with the talent the Carolina Panthers don't have versus the talent that the Falcons have, I got to say the Falcons, if they put it together, they could play a pretty damn decent
game. They played well, maybe, but
exactly.
I don't see them winning the game.
This is exactly like Eddie says. Robinson is misused. I say this all the time. Like, you look at last year Texas's draft, you had Robinson, A-Chain. If you take A-Chain over Robinson, depending on what team you go to, if he goes to A-Chain goes to Atlanta, he's going to be misused there. Robinson being misused there is a pounding back with Drake London and what's his name, Kyle Pitts. They outuse
Robinson's ridiculously talented running back.
He is, and he can catch it. And he can catch on the backfield
like Barkley had.
And he can catch on the backfield. He's probably one of the best running backs on the backfield catching the ball. It's just stupid. That's a coach that the head coach and the OC both need to be the first ones fired. They both need to be fired.
Get fired.
They have to be. Man. All right, Eddie's going 27-10. Damn. Okay.
Yeah,
I agree. Falcons have a horrible head coach. I think the OC needs to go. And what is his name? Whatever's blank, whatever his name for Falcons. He needs to be the first one going.
1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns at least.
What do they call it when coaches get fired at Black Friday or something like that? Black Monday. Well, his ass better be the first one on Black Monday to get fired. Him and his OC. Dave, what's going on, Dave? How you doing, brother? Thanks for checking in. All right, let's do the last games here, Dan, before we get out of here. All right, where we at? Green Bay. We're not taking Carolina this week. Why not?
No, I'm not taking Carolina this week. They may beat the Falcons, but I think Green Bay's going to kick their ass.
I think so too. Listen, like I said, every blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, and Carolina found 2 this year, and Santa Claus already blessed them with that one. So they ain't winning this game, Dan. I'll tell you that.
No,
no damn way. Easy game to win for here. So let's go on to battle of the NFC. NFC North Division here? The Lions playing for a seeding in the playoffs versus Minnesota, which we don't even know the quarterback carousel who they're going to play this week, Dan. We have no idea.
I don't know, man. Like I was almost going to pick Minnesota, but I was like, I don't know, man. I think that they're not good enough. I think that they're too. If you don't know who the quarterback's going to be, if it's not Dobbs, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know who it's going to be. I really don't. I
think the Lions will win this game.
I think so too. I'm going to go Lions as well. I mean, Lions are playing for that playoff seeding right now. 1 and 2 are pretty much out of the. Well, I want to say 2 is still in the books, honestly, because the Eagles, Lions, and the Cowboys are playing for that 2 spot. Yep. So they're still in it, and you got to beat who's in front of you. And the Vikings are a team they can beat easily. So I'm going to take the Lions. As Eddie says, the Lions are back. I don't know if they are back, but I mean, they can show you a glimpse of beating anything.
They're a good team, but I'd like to see what they do in the playoffs. They don't get bounced out.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see what they can do at full potential. They have the weapons. They have an incredible,
absolutely
team. They can put up points against anybody. We've seen that. But then glimpses of next week, Dan, it's like you can score 41 week, and then you play a lesser team and only score 15. It's different for me. Plus, playoff football's coming up. It's all about momentum and getting that right timing, that right, coherent. So consistency, I want to say. But yeah, I'm going to go take the Lions here too. I put the Lions on here twice, Dan, so I got to take that one off there. Jacksonville and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Dan.
Are you sure I took the Jags?
What's that?
You sure I took the Jags?
I think you did take the Jags.
Positive.
I'm pretty sure I can look it up right now. You sent it to me. Let's see. All right, we'll skip that game. Go to the next game real quick, Dan. I'm going to look at it right now.
Chicago, Arizona.
Wow. What do we do with this one?
Bears at home.
Bears at home. Okay. All right.
This is a toss-up game. Either team can win the game.
Yeah, you took Jacksonville, Dan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got Jacksonville. Yep. I look at it right now. You got Jacksonville there. Mm-hmm. Want to make sure. My eyes are getting old, man. It's 52 years now, Yeah.
It's a toss-up game, though.
It definitely is.
Tampa Bay, either team could win that game.
Mm-hmm. I want to take Arizona in ways because of the fact, but to me, Dan, I think Arizona does. I think Arizona. I don't want to say you want to lose because I don't know, Dan. I think you stay where you're at. You don't want to lose. You never tank in situations. You never want to do that.
No.
But I don't know with this game. I think this team. The way they play, it looks like they tank. The way they don't play, they look like they tank. Honestly, yeah. I think Chicago does win this game, being home field advantage, and I think they have better weapons. Dan,
they do have much better weapons.
So I think if they play just a mediocre game, they can beat Arizona. Honestly, I really do. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, the Bears.
Yep. Eddie says the Lions showed up against Denver. I'm sorry. I'm taking Tampa. Oh, he's taking Tampa Bay on that one. Damn, we'll get right back to that game here. Yeah. Wow, you're taking Tampa Bay. Now, okay, I just read here too earlier today that Sunshine might still be in concussion protocol as well. Does that flip our vote?
Who's their backup?
Trevor Lawrence. That one quarter. What the hell's his name? Breathin?
Oh, Beathard. Oh,
Beathard. CJ Beathard. Yeah.
Man, I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I don't know. I mean, wow.
With Beathard, I think Tampa Bay would win.
I do too. Damn. See, that's if Sunshine is out, I think I might take Tampa Bay though. Honestly, I really might.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay then. If he's out, I'm
taking. Yeah, you know what? Let me write that down. Let me write that down for both of us because I'm going to be on the same boat. So we'll change that one. Okay. If Sunshine is out,
we will be cleared and have a good game. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. If he's out, we're going to both take Tampa Bay. So is that what you're doing too? If he's out, we're taking Tampa Bay. You're taking. Okay. I'm going to write. I just wrote that down. So we'll flip that. We'll hold that little asterisk on that one. We definitely.
If they have a viable backup that was solid, then I'd say Giants could win the game, but not with Beathard.
I'm right behind you at the 50.
At 50.
At 50. Oh shit! Are you really? Damn, brother. Welcome to the Over the Hill Club, man. You know, have your eyes gone bad yet? Because it happened to me before 50. I ain't gonna lie. But I like how Bayfield's been playing. He's been winning games. He definitely has. CJ Beathard, yes. CJ Beathard. That's
Beathard, yeah.
Beathard, yeah. All right, let's get back to this. Let's move on here, Dan. As Eileen said, this is game of the week here. The Dallas Cowboys come off a pure ass whooping last week to probably the team that hasn't played, well, has not played a team over 501, but arguably probably the fastest team in the NFL here, Dan. The Miami Dolphins. We're opposite here, Dan.
I'm picking Miami at home. Only because Dallas does not play well on the road.
On turf. We're not even on turf. We're on grass this week, Dan. Grass.
Yeah.
Grass.
Even if you're on grass, Miami's still pretty fast. I imagine they'll be healthier.
Yeah.
Than they were last week. And look what they did the last week versus a good defense.
You know, Dan, I looked at this today and I was sitting here, I had a little time, and I looked back at Dallas Cowboys. The last game that they really played on grass, you know where it was?
Where?
Carolina. They didn't look that great. They put up points, but they didn't look fast, Dan.
They're probably better on turf for sure.
They definitely are.
I just think that Miami's got a really good run game like the Bills do.
Yeah.
And Quinn is going to have a really good game plan in this game.
He is. I mean, the one thing that I said on the Cowboys show, I was like, you coming from, Daniels here, who comes from that Shanahan tree, that Kansas City Shanahan tree. Mm-hmm. He loves motion. And what does Dallas struggle with that motion? And the other thing is,
you have Hill on motion, he just takes off.
It's Hill, A-Chain, who can get outside the tackle. He's gone. He's a highlight film. Mostert is the same way guy. He's a north and south runner.
This year,
exactly. He's a solid north and south runner. You want to pick your poison. Now, they actually run both of those backs in the backfield at the same time. It's scary. Scary,
That's I think the way Dallas struggled versus the run, but the problem is you're not going to be able to sell out on the run.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sell out on the run versus Miami. You got to account for the weapons they have.
And
the problem with them.
The thing is, too, this is what I want to say with Eddie here. I was going to say this. Miami has a lot of banged up guys. They have two offensive linemen. Well, the two offensive linemen are questionable for this week. Two starters are questionable. So that holds to me that Dallas needs to get back and go back to the stunts and twists. They got to get pressure on Tua because, Dan, I always told you, I always joke around about it. And I say, since I moved up here, I never understood what deer in headlights mean. This is what Tua needs to be this week. You need to get so much pressure on him so where he's a deer in headlights, he don't know what the hell to do. You get pressure on him, he's a different quarterback. When you give him time, Dan, there is no corner in the league. I don't care if you're Sauce Gardner,
Drew Hill for that long.
Nobody's going to cover. Nobody's going to cover anybody that long, especially Waddle and Tyreek Hill. It ain't going to happen. You need to get pressure on Tua.
You got to pick your poison.
Exactly. You got to get pressure on Tua this week.
The problem, I'm interested to see if Miami plays the quick game and gets rid of the ball fast. Just gets in their playmakers' hands like that.
Now, I did hear Hill was 100% practice this morning. I just watched that before. He's definitely played. They set him out last week for a reason to get
questionable healthy. Is playing.
Yeah, A-Chain is definitely questionable, but I think he's going to play because, you think about, to me, these guys aren't George Pickens. These guys are not George Pickens.
No.
They're holding a playoff spot because the Bills play earlier. And I tell you what, if I'm a head coach and I see Buffalo win, they're tied for the division right now. I'm going to the locker room and say, hey, I know you're banged up, brother, but I need you today. I need you today. We got to hold serve here. We got to be one game up on Buffalo. But I think Miami they're good. They're good, especially being at home, Dan. But I got to take Dallas to rebound. I got to take Dallas to rebound this week. I have to.
Yeah, I think that it makes sense. I think they can rebound. I think Miami wins in a close game. Both will score 30 something.
I agree. I think it's going to be a track. I don't think it's going to be a 40-point game. I think both teams will be in the 30s. But I think it's going to come down to if Tua has a turnover and Dallas can capitalize versus if Dak has a turnover, can Tua capitalize? It's going to come down to that. It's going to come down to who holds the ball in the fourth quarter and maintains time management to control the game. That's what I think. But I think Dallas comes out. Hopefully, I'm believing my heart here. But, I hope Dallas wins. But let's go on to the next game, Dan. New England Patriots, man. Damn. Versus the Denver Broncos.
The Denver Broncos, I think, will win at home. I don't think it'll be a very high-scoring game, but I think they'll win this game. The Patriots have no offense whatsoever.
Okay. Eddie says that Dallas game should come down to the kicker. If it comes down to that, I'm taking Aubrey all day. I don't care if it's 50 yards out. Give them. Listen, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, listen to me, please, McCarthy. Listen to this real quick. If it comes down to a field goal, just get down to the 40-yard line and give Aubrey the chance to win the game. And don't be a bonehead.
That's for, right?
Throw the ball down to the end zone and have it picked up. Just move the sticks. Give the best kicker in the NFL a shot at to go in OT if it happens to win the game. My God, yeah. Miami's kicker isn't good. Yeah, I don't even know who the hell he is, honestly.
Yeah, but Miami shouldn't be dependent on their kicker.
Yeah, Aubrey's the man. I agree, Eddie, 100%, man. What is he, 32 for 32 this year, hasn't missed a field goal. Great. And the crazy thing, he's had a 62-yarder, a 59-yarder, and a 57-yarder, and hasn't missed them. Insane.
Pretty good.
Yep, Denver 16, Pats 6. Okay.
20-6.
26. I'm going to go 21-10. 21-10.
Yep.
All right, Dan, let's talk about a team here. Kansas City, who is not playing what they are right now versus the Raiders. Why are we taking the Chiefs?
Because they're at home.
Damn, just because they're home?
They have a good defense.
Okay.
I know the Raiders are playing well. I know that they're playing better. But I just see Kansas City win this game. I think they played a little bit better last week, even though it's the Patriots.
Right.
They could have easily had a horrible game and just won or lost, because they've had a tendency to play pretty bad football games.
True.
But I think they'll win this game at home. I think it'll be close though, like 27-20.
I agree. I think the Chiefs start flipping the script here. We're going to see what they're made of, Dan. Coming down.
Some people think they can. I think that, like I said, I'm interested to see how they finish. They're going to stumble in. They're going to finish strong.
Okay, Eddie's got the upset of the week here. He's going with the Raiders over the Chiefs right now. I'm going to write that one down because we are going to talk about that in a minute. Eddie's going to write that down. Eddie's got Raiders over the Chiefs. Okay, write that one down. 17-13. Wow, he didn't give a score. 17-13. Okay, write that one down. Wow. All right. I think Kansas City rewrites the ship here. I mean, we got to see what they're made of. They're not going down without a fight, and I think momentum comes into play here. Andy Reid's not that type QB to just go with what doesn't work. I think he's going to flip it here. I think he's going to find some opportunities to put different players in. Tony's not going to be in there. That he's going to put up in positions where Mahomes is going to throw it right to his chest and just stand there and catch the ball like this or something to all the wide receivers. So I don't know. I think the Chiefs win this game. I think it's going to be handily. I'm probably going to go 34-17 Chiefs this week. I think they rewrite it. And I do agree. 100%. Wide receivers. I agree with that. I do agree with that.
And they've underperformed as well.
But, good coaches put bad wide receivers in positions. Look at Belichick with Brady, with everybody that he had. They put him in positions to find ways to get him the ball. I want to take that back because Kansas City gets the ball in open field with wide receivers that can't catch anywhere. So I take that one back, honestly. And here's the one thing: if Pacheco better play, Isaiah Pacheco. They're different without him. They're different without him.
Maker for them. He's not the most good, like an elite player, but he's very effective the way he runs.
I agree 100%.
If they can run the ball, that helps a lot.
Wasn't he like a 4th round, 5th round from Rutgers or something like that?
Something like that. And it just works, but I think they need to be able to run the ball effectively to be effective on offense.
I agree with that.
If they had Tyreek Hill and had the weapons they used to have, then they could just air it out, whatever. But it's not like that no more.
I agree. Well, Dan, we got 3 games on Christmas Day. I believe that is a Christmas Day game as well. But, man, Dan, let me tell you, man, what a way to have a Christmas gift for you, huh? Eagles and Giants on Christmas Day, Dan. I
don't think they're going to win the game. The Eagles are better at home, and they're going to be really motivated to play, and the Giants offensive line sucks, and their front is still good.
Yeah.
But the interesting, the Eagles have blitzed way less this year.
I was telling my buddy the
blitzing like 70-something sacks last year, and they blitz
a lot this last year.
Way
this year.
less this season.
That's the
which
thing,
I don't know why.
You really think about it, like a lot of teams, of course, I love Dallas, you love the Giants, but when you watch your team, you see what they do. But then when you want to tell some other team about their team, they don't understand it. Exactly what you said there. The Eagles blitzed so much last week with that front four that so many sacks this year, they're opposite. They don't blitz as much. The sacks have been down. It's different, this team. I think with a banged up O-line like the Giants have, especially after last week, Dan, I mean, my God, it was so bad. This week,
their run blocking was probably worse than their pass blocking. It was probably the worst run blocking game all year. And I don't trust their offensive line. I'd rather start Tyrod Taylor, but
wow.
But it doesn't matter.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry to say this.
Tyrod gets rid of the ball faster. He's a little taller than DeVito.
Right.
Makes reads a little better. So I don't know.
Careful what you might say, Dan. He might end up in the game because this front four might get so much pressure on DeVito.
But like I said, the offensive line is so deficient.
It's bad.
Phillips, every time he tries to block, he's standing straight up. Bredesen likes to leave guys. JMS, I'll give a pass.
He's a rookie.
Thomas is fine. I'm not worried about him.
Mm-hmm.
But Bredesen, Pugh got absolutely demolished in this game. There was one play where he got driven back like 8 yards right into DeVito. I'm sorry, their offensive line is so bad. I think this is a game where the Eagles front could wake up.
Wasn't a couple years ago,
their offensive line is.
Wasn't a couple years ago where the Eagles had 10 sacks or 7 sacks or something like that against the Giants in one game?
Yeah, like we gave up 11 this year.
I think it's going to be one. I think you're going to beat that record. I think it's possibly
like 6 sacks.
7. I think it's going to be 6 to 8 sacks.
DeVito will run into half of them.
That's the thing too. That's
the difference. This last week, DeVito didn't run into sacks. The offensive line was bad. All the other games, he's ran into most of his sacks.
Yeah, I call those cover sacks.
It'll be a situation where he's going to pack and get sacked 3 or 4 times just because of that.
Climb the pocket, not to the defender.
And they won't be able to run the ball.
Gotcha.
I feel bad for Barkley. I'm telling you, their offensive line is all I think about.
It's so bad. I mean, I understand you give your best player the ball, Dan, but listen, when you have no offensive lineman to get any crease, it's bad. You don't even get a crease.
People saw some places go, well, why is he cut outside? I'm like, everyone's missing their blocks. Like, no one's holding their blocks.
I watched it last week, Dan. Who's your left guard?
Pugh, 67.
Okay. When Pugh came, he tried pulling on a play, Dan. He couldn't even get out there on the pull. That's how bad it was.
It's a tough ask.
Yeah.
It's a tough ask for him. Their blocking scheme is horrible.
It is.
They need to run more gap.
You know what you need to do?
More gap run, not zone run.
If you stay with the zone block, you need to go out and get Gary Kubiak because he is the master of the zone block.
I'm telling you, they don't have the players to run a zone blocking scheme. So why is Bobby Johnson running? Why are they run a gap scheme? If you're going to run the ball, do a gap run scheme. Don't do a zone run scheme. It doesn't work.
That's true.
All I gotta say about that.
No, that's very true. I get that.
More pin and pull. What worked last year?
I get it.
I don't get it.
I get it. And he says, I'm picking the DeVito and the Giants for the upset. Reason why
I would love it.
I would too. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to call this right now. If the Eagles win tomorrow, they're going to lose Week 18. The Giants will take one of 2.
They might split. That's a possibility. The Eagles might not be playing for nothing in Week 18.
I mean, that's what I'm hoping. I hope it goes down to Week 18 because it's craziness. I know we're going to jump ahead real quick, but the last thing I want to say is this. Week 18, if Dallas wins out, the Eagles win out, go into Week 18 here. We have the Commanders, they have the Giants. 2 division games right there that's going to serve of who wins. If Dallas wins it, they win the tiebreaker. Head-to-head, we're tied.
The funny thing is the matchup favors both of those teams tremendously, but I think both are going to be playing for something Week 18.
I think so too. I definitely do.
They're playing for a seed. They're not going to sit.
Yeah.
And that makes me think that, I don't know. We'll see. And the Giants play the Rams, but that's another
It's
story.
True, exactly what you said, Dan. I mean, if the Niners went out, if they beat Baltimore this week, they're going to run out number one. We know that they're going to run the division, go number one for the number one seed.
Yep.
If it goes down to Giants, Giants lose. Well, as far as Eagles win the next two, Cowboys win the next two. Week 18, it's going to become, Dan, either you win, you get the 2 seed. You lose, you're the 5 seed.
That's exactly. That's what the difference. But also, who is the 5 seed play?
5 seed plays. Who? 5 seed play. No, 5 seed.
3.
I think 5 plays. I think 3.
One number 1 seed gets the bye.
Yeah. So then you're going 2 to what? 2 to
6.
2 to 6. 3. I don't know.
5-4.
Yeah, 5-4 or something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I know the 4th seed ends up playing the 1 seed, I think it was, because the way I projected when the Eagles were ahead, if we get the 4th seed or the 5th seed, we're going to end up playing the 1 seed, which would have been the Eagles. So the 1 seed ends up playing the 5 seed in the conference going down that line. So, yeah, it is what it is. All right, last game, Dan. This is the game of the week right here. I love seeing the Miami
game. Says it's the NFC South Division winner.
The NFC, okay. So which is going to be what? That is going to be the damn, what the hell is that called?
The Falcons.
Falcons. the Saints.
Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay or the Saints. Yeah.
Saints?
I don't even know who's winning.
Saints or Tampa Bay, I guess.
Yeah, one of those two teams. We know it ain't the Carolina Panthers. We know that. Damn. Shit. Man.
Right.
All right, let's get to the game of the week here, Dan. Let's talk about it. Wow. Baltimore, San Francisco, Christmas night. Listen, kids, I don't know if Santa Claus might, if you're in a different time zone, you might not be getting Christmas presents, because if I'm Santa Claus, I'm staying home in the North Pole to watch this game. Baltimore and the Niners. My God, this is the game, Dan. This is the game.
I think 49ers will win at home, but I think it'll be close.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh.
The 49ers have the defense to slow Jackson down.
They do.
And their offense is phenomenal. I think it's the toughest game for the Ravens all year.
It definitely
Same with the 49ers. I'll give you an example. Like, look what the 49ers did to Dallas.
True.
Dallas is a pretty good football team.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens are pretty good. I think San Francisco wins by 10 or more. 14.
All right. I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go Carolina. Ravens here. Listen, here's my reasoning. I like players that play prime time. I know San Francisco, arguably on paper and on the field of what I've seen the eye test, they are the team. They are the Super Bowl contending team that I think could win it all. But Lamar Jackson is hearing all this talk about Brock Purdy being the MVP. I think Lamar Jackson
this year.
He is, yeah. I think Lamar Jackson shows up this week to show what he's about. I don't think it's going to be a huge game. I think Odell Beckham is not a mixture in this game. I don't think they don't have, what's his name, Andrews. I don't think it's a big air attack. I think it's going to be a huge game from Lamar Jackson's legs.
It's going to need to be.
Exactly. It needs to be. It's going to put him on the MVP, that check mark.
Well, he is on that list anyway. But
but I want to put him there. But the thing is, 2 things. He doesn't play great in prime time, so I want him to show up this week. But number 2 is the Baltimore Ravens defense is this legit too. They're legit.
Of course, I know
they're legit. They're legit.
But I think San Francisco has enough weapons and enough innovation on offense to win the game.
Mm-hmm. Might not have Trevor Lawrence this weekend. Yeah, I do. What's it called? Jaguars. Yeah, he's in concussion protocol.
He could get cleared and play a good game, and they could win. But
yeah, that's one of the games that we actually took. Dan and I said if he's not cleared, we're going to both take Tampa Bay on that one. Definitely will.
Eddie.
What did he say?
Yeah, as in prime time, he's like more going to get his leg taken out if he runs too much.
That's the thing too. I mean, I'm not a coach for like taking somebody's legs up.
Got some.
But listen, he
defensive players.
And you know what? The funny thing is, you look at Lamar Jackson's games where he doesn't get touched until he gets to the linebacker, past the linebackers. Well,
if that's the case, that's dangerous. You want to slow him down.
But here's what I'm saying, Dan. It's different though. He can get past. He can get past the first level, but linebackers that he's played aren't the fastest. Well, you got Greenlaw and Warner here that can play east, west, north, and south.
They're great linebackers.
Exactly, that can catch you.
They're so good.
They're nasty. I
think the matchup
Exactly.
For the 49ers, I think they'll be able to. I think they're more than well equipped.
I agree. Man, I tell you what, Dan. How about we talk about some sponsors really quick? How about you take this one here because it's Christmas season, so let's get it out there.
Coffee, Evolution of Flavor Infused Coffee. Use the promo code OTB Sports at the checkout at monkeycoldcoffee.com and get 10% off of your order. They have 4 blends right now: bourbon chocolate chip, toasted coconut rum, and Sumatran blend, and the organic blend Perula, Florida. Always come out new flavors. I have coffee mugs, travel mugs, cold brew maker. So once again, use promo code OTB Sports at the checkout to get 10% off your order at monkeycoldcoffee.com.
Also, everybody, please listen. It's holiday season out there. If you're ever in a car accident, God forbid if you are out there, please, if you're drinking, driving with families, take an Uber. Do the right thing first of all. Family first, health first, number one. But if you're concerned in an accident, somebody hits you or whatever, give Jason Fine a call. 1-800-HURT-123. Attorney Big Al. Motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims. He's got you covered in the tri-state area here. Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, PA, Philadelphia, and Pennsylvania as well. Give him a call, 1-800-HURT-123. Make sure you give him a call. Mention Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. No recovery, no fee. You mentioned us here. One of the operators take your live call. You never know. You might even get me for the holidays. I do have the phone call this weekend. So if you give me a call this weekend, whatever, mention us. We'll take your case. It's 33 1/3% guaranteed rate from Out of the Box Sports Entertainment from Jason Fine. So reach out to him if you get in any car accidents out there. God forbid you do. Just be safe, man. Take an Uber if you're out there, guys. No matter what, be safe with your family, of course. Last comment is Eddie Warner says, Eddie Warner, I said Eddie Panther. Brady said, Warner, exactly. As quick as that's exactly. I mean, it's a different animal. Warner and Greenlaw, they're fast as hell linebackers. They're like hybrid safeties, honestly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are so damn good. But Dan, before we get out of here, give me 2 things. What is the lock of the week, Dan? Lock of the week, Dan, we haven't been really well. But you know what is the lock of the week this week? What do you think?
Bills.
You're going Bills. Bills is a lock of the week, huh?
Yep.
Bills and Chargers. Wow. Okay. All right.
I probably picked the best one too.
No, you know what? Lock of the week for me. I hate doing this. No, lock of the week for me is going to be the Eagles over the Giants.
That's a good pick.
I'm going there. I can't be beat this week.
Even though you're picking the Giants.
It doesn't make sense for me, does it? I know, right? I told you I'm going to disagree with you on a couple of these, but my heart says it's Christmas. Be nice to Dan. Give him an extra point. Go Giants.
It doesn't matter. It's been so crazy.
It has.
No matter what I pick, something crazy is going to happen. Something's going to happen.
It's been bad. It's been bad. It is definitely. Eddie says the Bills is his lock of the week too. Also, your co-host there. Who's this lady here?
What's up, Stacy? Merry Christmas.
Stacy. When are you guys on, Dan? When are you guys on this week? Are you guys gonna be on this week?
11:30. Yeah, 11:30 on
Sunday. All right.
11:30 a.m. Sunday. I mean,
great.
Christmas Eve. So
definitely.
But I'm not doing nothing.
Nah, me either. I'm staying home. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, Stacy. Stacy, I've known for, I don't want to say how old, but probably over 3 decades, honestly. Known Stacy for that long, went to high school together. Crazy thing is we went to high school in Japan. That's where I met Stacy. One of us got deported out of Japan, went to California. Then a year later, someone comes to California and says hi to me. And I'm like, hey, how you been? So it's being a military family, I guess, right, Dan? That's how crazy that is, how that worked out. But Dan, before we get out of here, man, I want to take this over to do a little bit different here. It's Christmas season, Dan. What holiday traditions do you have, Dan, in the O'Connor, foundation there?
We used to decorate the tree with my sister.
On Christmas morning?
No.
Oh, okay.
Christmas morning, we used to record our Christmases every morning.
Okay, gotcha.
So on videotape, so obviously the stockings and everything. We'd always get something Christmas Eve, a gift to open Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
But we would record every single Christmas, like on the old VHS tapes.
Yeah, the big ones, right? Like the dad had the big video camera on his shoulder, like one of those, Dan.
Yeah,
that's what we had. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Dan, I want to ask you something. My Christmas thing is, Dave and I did this last night, and I said, a couple people asked me, really, wow, I've never heard of that. I like how you said that because my mom was old school, being Japanese, Americanized, but my mom used to let me open one present on Christmas Eve every year, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember one year, I forgot what year it was then. It was either PS1 or PS2. I asked for that for Christmas. I didn't think I was getting it. You know, it was a big gift, of course, that time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think I was getting it. And I remember my mom just got off work on Christmas Eve. She had to work overtime. She came home around like 9 o'clock, got home dead tired. And I'm like, Mom, can we open our present on Christmas Eve? She's like, yeah, go ahead, pick one. My mom never said pick one, Dan. Never said pick one. You know, she always was this way. You know, if you pick one, you get a gift that's going to go to your bigger gift. You know what it is automatically, right? So I was like, all right, Mom, can I pick a gift? She's like, well, she called me Pikun, Japanese nickname. She's like, Pikun, go ahead and pick one. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go over and you know what a video game, you know, a cartridge looks like.
You're looking for like the box looks like.
The DVD box, the DVD box kind
of. Well, the DVD box, the Sega cartridges.
Yes.
But you're like, I know what that is.
I know what it is. So I'm like, okay.
The size of the console box.
Yeah. I mean, I think like, okay, my mom got me a DVD or whatever. That's fine. But I'm going to take my chances here. I go over under the tree and I pull out this one and I hold it up. I'm like, Mom, can I open it? She's like, yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, okay, great. I open it up and it was Crash Bandicoot. Okay. For the PS. And I'm like, yes. I'm starting screaming. I'm like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I got a PS. And my mom's like, how do you know? I was like, Mom, it says PS on it. And my mom was like, never again, you're opening a Christmas gift on Christmas Eve. I'm going to pick it out. So that's my tradition too. Me and Katie and Chelsea, we always do that on Christmas Eve now. We always open one as well. So, yeah. But Dan, before we get out of here, man, do you want to wish, who do you want to wish a happy holidays to? And what do you want to say, brother? Because it's Christmas time, man.
I just want to wish happy holidays to my family, to my friends, to everybody I love and stuff like that. Merry Christmas. And, obviously I'll be thinking about my family this year. They're not around no more. So, Merry Christmas wherever they are. So
I agree 100%. Dan, you're one of my good friends. I wish you and your family happy holidays
as well.
Man. You're like a brother to me, all the viewers out there, I want to appreciate you for sticking by us over the last year and a half. Means the world to me because without the viewers out there pushing us to do what we do, it wouldn't be the same without you guys. So never take that for granted. You guys are family to us as well.
Nothing without viewers.
Exactly.
Talking to ourselves then.
Yep, exactly. To all my family out there, I want to wish everybody happy holidays. I'm not close to my family anymore ever since my divorce, but I want to wish everybody a happy holidays. And remember, everybody out there, please don't take for granted what you have, man. There's people, we post pictures of Christmas.
Be thankful.
Exactly. We post pictures of Christmas. We post pictures of all of our gifts. But just remember, man, there's other people out there that don't get what we have. They're less fortunate that, a roof over their head, clothes on their back is Christmas to them. A warm meal is a honor to have, something that's not given every day. So just take that in fact too, that, be kind to other people as well, because everybody's not in that same predicament as you might be as well. And the last thing I want to say is, anybody out there, it's Christmas, reach out to people that you haven't reached out to before, because a lot of people don't know this, Dan. I think we're going to do a show tomorrow night, a Christmas show from 8 to 9 tomorrow. Whoever hops on. We do it every year on December 22nd. That date to me is very important to me. A lot of people don't know this about me, but in December 22nd, 2017 at 5:53 p.m., I was escorted to the hospital because I tried to commit suicide. So I want everybody to, take time, man. If you're out there and need help, reach out to somebody, man. And if somebody reaches out to you, man, do not answer the phone. Answer the phone, man, because that could be the last words, and you could be the person that they need to speak to boost that person up, because everybody needs a helping hand. Everybody needs a shoulder to talk, someone to talk to, and a shoulder to lean on. So be that person, be the better person. It's Christmas, man, because just like Dan, you said, your parents aren't around. My parents are deceased as well. So
I still have my dad, but
I don't have any
mom, and my stepdad passed.
Gotcha. I don't have my mom or dad. I lost my mom 9 years ago, and my dad 8 years ago, and it was crazy, Dan. It's three days apart, 1 year and 3 days apart. So
that's crazy.
Kind of crazy. So reach out to people. But from myself and Dan, man, we wish everybody out there a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. So, man, we'll be back next week, Dan.
Yep.
All right, Dan. Everybody, thanks. You appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the NFL
thank you, everybody.
Weekly Pick'em Show, and happy holidays to everybody out there. And go tonight and enjoy one hell of a football game on Thursday Night Football. Okay? All right.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Definitely. Guys, we'll see you next week. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.